Hey, what's going on, guys? This is KNasty3890 here with a MLB 16 The Show video. We're going to be going over player ratings that were released, I believe, late last week. Haven't had a chance to get to a video to it. So we're going to be going over some of the top players. Right now, you're looking at the top starting pitchers. If you look quickly here, there's only 199. That's Kershaw. You got Max Scherzer up there, Zach Greinke, now the Diamondbacks, Arrieta. Big jump from last year. You got Chris Sale, David Price, and my Red Sox. There's a lot of big names here. I'm kind of surprised by a few names. I thought Syndergaard would be higher. I thought Lester would be a little lower. I'm surprised Darvish is still an 88. Granted, he didn't play it all last year. But it is interesting to see some of these starting pitchers. And if you guys need to pause it, you can pause it and look at some of these players and see which ones you might want to use in time in Dynasty. I know last year Jose Fernandez was great. I really like Chris Sale. Kershaw I never used. I heard he was really good too. So, yeah, these are some of the starting pitchers. Now we're going to be looking at some of the relief pitchers. Alright, guys, now we're looking at some of the relief pitchers, and you can see it is actually dominated by Yankees. We got Dylan Betances, Andrew Miller, their closer from last year. I mean, that Yankees bullpen's going to be dominant. I know Betances was so filthy last year. I could never hit him. Watson was always really good. Herrera, I personally did not like him, but he got a ratings boost, so maybe he'll be better next year. O'Day with that funky delivery is tough. Some other names, you got Koji Urahara, who's now the setup man to Craig Kimbrell in Boston. So there's a lot of big names here. Ryan Madson's another big name. He's a little older, but there are some really good relievers here that if you want to use in Diamond Dynasty, you might be able to get them a little cheap because they're not the big name closers. But yeah, here's a list of guys. If you want to pause, you can definitely take a look at the relief pitchers. Now we have the closers, and you'll see some familiar names. You'll see some new names here in the closers. Wade Davis was a great setup man last year. He's now going to be the closer for the Royals. Jansen with the Dodgers, Kimball, Chapman signed with the Yankees, Melanson, Robertson, Zach Britton. I love Zach Britton from last year. I'm glad he got a ratings boost. I think he was in the low to mid 80s. Now he's 87. I think he's one of the best players using this game. His fastball slider combination is great. But yeah, guys, here's some of the closers. There's some big names, hard throwers here. I think everyone here, except for I think everyone here. Melanson maybe throws low 90s. Maybe everyone else is like mid 90s or higher. So if you guys need hard throwing guys in your bullpen, look at these closers right here. All of these guys are really good options. So now we're looking at some of the catchers. There really aren't many big names at catchers, especially if you're doing Diamond Dynasty. You got Posey, he's a really good player. McCann has some power from the left side. Weeder's a good switch hitter. Russell Martin's good at defense. Same with Molina. Perez as well. But, if you're going to be creating a Diamond Dynasty player and put him at a position, you got to put him at catcher unless you want him as a starting pitcher. Because as you can tell, catching is just so weak in this. Unless you're going to get like Posey, maybe there'll be some names that could really have like a big up year where maybe they get a new card, or not a new card, but an upgraded card throughout the year. Maybe you can invest in some cards. But if you're just looking at a guy to use, I would put your Diamond Dynasty creative player at catcher because you can tell there really aren't many good options here. Now we're at first base, and you can see there's a lot of big names here. Like, as catchers, there's no one. First base, there's a lot. You got Goldschmidt, Cabrera, Votto, Rizzo. Those four are great all-around players who can hit for average and hit for power. Cabrera's not really much in defense. Goldschmidt can even run. And then after that, you got Chris Davis, Encarnacion, Gonzalez, and Abreu all can hit for power. Maybe not as much Gonzalez anymore. Maybe he's more of a doubles hitter. But if you need power, some easy and probably will be cheap power too with some of these. I think Abreu might be expensive to do it just because it's set. It's on not a great team. Encarnacion might be cheap because you got so many good players on the Blue Jays. But overall, guys, if you need good players, first base you can get some easy power and some really solid offensive players. Now we're at second base, and you can see there's some speedsters here at the top. You got Altuve, not as much of a speed guy as D. Gordon. But Altuve is one of the best pure hitters in baseball. D. Gordon's one of the fastest players. Cano, they still give him an 88. I'm really shocked by that. Same with Pedroia. They're both, they're going down. They're both in their early 30s. Kipnis, I'm really high on. Dozier is a really solid player. Kinsler's still doing okay. Zobrist is like super utility guy who just happens to play second base the most. But a lot of people will be rocking D. Gordon on their team just for the speed aspect. I'm not sure if there's anyone faster in baseball other than maybe Billy Hamilton's faster, but not as good as an all-around player as D. Gordon is. So if you guys need speed at the top of your lineup, you're going to want D. Gordon on your team. And now we come to third base where we have the cover athlete, Josh Donaldson, at a 96. Machado's 23 is 94. Nolan Arenado's at 93 and he's 24. There's some young guns here. Chris Bryant's 24. That's just. By the way, Chris Bryant's a rookie last year, rookie of the year, and you got Machado who's 23. Like, people don't realize how young Machado is. He actually came up as a shortstop, and Machado's one of the best defensive third basemen. Other names on this: Longoria. I mean, he's already 30. Todd Frazier is now on the White Sox. He's 30. But there are some really solid names here at third base. I mean, like, the top three are just kind of an upper echelon. After that, there's a really solid group there with Beltre, Carpenter, Bryant, Longoria, Frazier. I do like the third baseman options here a lot. I always like defense at third, but here's a lot of names if you guys need to look at those. And now we come to shortstops, and you got the two really big names here. You got Tulowitzki, you got Carlos Correa. Correa's 21, number one overall pick in the draft, I think 3 years ago. I had a Byron Buxton who's on the Twins, and he's a superstar in the making, if not already there. Tulowitzki's been around for a while, and in real life, I'm not sure how he's going to hold up on the AstroTurf in Toronto. I mean, he's always been injury prone in Colorado, so we'll see. But other than that, you got Brandon Crawford, who's had a breakout year last year offensively. Lindor was a great prospect. Bogarts, second in the league last year in hits. I think he had 196 hits. He's just great. Seager, a young prospect, best prospect in baseball right now. Andrelton Simmons just got traded. Jose Reyes, I don't know what they're going to be doing with him. He actually got suspended, but we'll see what's going to happen with him. He got suspended by Major League Baseball, but he's now on the Rockies. So now we have left fielders here. There's not many big names. You got Upton, who's now on the Tigers. Brantley is covering from an injury. Marte, I think, might be a really good player to invest in. I think he's going to have a really good breakout year. But if you're going to want to maybe move some center fielders and Diamond Dynasty to left field, just because there's not really many big names in left field. I'll show you guys in the center fielders in a second. I can tell you some that might be worthwhile to move to left field. But overall, there's not really many big names. Actually, if you look, a lot of the players there's not really any young players right here in left field. Let's go look at some of the center fielders now. And now we come to center fielders, and the best player in baseball, in my opinion, is still Mike Trout. He's 24. He's just amazing, though. I mean, you got McCutchen, you got Carlos Gomez, Yoenis Cespedes, who's now a center fielder, but you can definitely move him to left. Lorenzo Cain, a great defensive player. Pollock had a great year last year. Adam Jones. Mookie Betts, he's center field. He'll actually be playing right field for the Red Sox this year most of the time. Jackie Bradley Jr. will be playing center field for them. So, I mean, I'm not sure when they will reflect that, but he's going to be a right fielder this year. But, I mean, like I said, you can maybe put, like, Cespedes in left for your Diamond Dynasty team, or maybe put, like, Kane out there. Like, get a good defensive player out there who can still hit. But, yeah, center field is pretty... I mean, there's two big names after that. There's a lot of really solid names, but at the top, the best player in baseball, just look at him, Mike Trout. Just freaking amazing. And now we're going to be looking at the right fielders. Cruz, Pence, all older guys. You got some young players with Springer and Hayward. Hayward's not much of a power guy, but a lot of those guys can hit for power. So this is the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the ratings. I'll be doing more MLB the show videos and Diamond Dynasty videos once the game drops on March 29th. But until then, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.